Don't know if you know this, but I'm a massive Gremlins fan. Have been since I was a young kid in the early 80s. When I first saw this movie, I fell in love with this film. I fell in love with the Mogwai. I fell in love with the Gremlins. And as I got to like an older age, I bought myself a life-size Gremlin. I'm that much of a fan. I like Gremlins 2 as well. I actually have the Spider Gremlin NECA figure. It's in another room at the minute because I had to move out of the way for Christmas, but it'll come back eventually. So I've got the Spider Gremlin NECA figure as well because I do enjoy Gremlins 2, but the first one is my like heartwarming Christmas film. I watch it every Christmas. It's like a tradition in the house, along with Home Alone and things like that. I've just found out yesterday about Gremlins 3. That they've actually, the go ahead, it's going to happen. We're going to get Gremlins 3. And at first I was like, yes, Gremlins 3. And then I realised that we're getting a lot of these nostalgia bait sequels now that don't live up at all to what the original like films were. And they're usually just put in there just to trigger your nostalgia. So like, they'll put it on the screen and they'll throw in random cameos from people just to make you go, oh, that's so-and-so, oh, that's so-and-so, oh, that's so-and-so. And that's the only reason they do it now. For example, that Happy Gilmore 2, if you saw that, it was like, Happy Gilmore's your original film. You enjoyed that. We're going to show you this one. It's going to have a lot of references to the first one just to trigger your nostalgia, but it's actually going to be pretty awful. And I was like, don't do that with Gremlins. And then my little brain starts to wear on, and I had this idea of what the plot would be. So I've got to tell you now my theoretical idea based on the movies that come out nowadays and the fact retro sequel things like a new trend. So my theory is what they're going to do, and I know this is like the worst case scenario for me. I hope they don't go down this route. I'd rather them go back to Kingston Falls. It's Kingston Falls, isn't it? Go back to there. Billy's there with Kate. They're happily married, and then like the Gremlins come out again. Maybe, I mean, a good version of this movie will be like Billy's researching the Mogwais and finds out that there are more of them. That'll be a good version of this movie. But sadly, I think what they're going to do, because they do this in most of the movies now, will be a situation where Billy and Kate have a daughter. You've probably heard this story before, because it's happened in like Bill and Ted, Jay and Silent Bob films. So they have a daughter. She's going to go off to college and accidentally take Gizmo with her. While at the college, obviously with the students all around her and stuff, and all the dorms and sorority houses and that, he's going to get wet. They're going to break all the rules. There's going to be chaos. Gremlin's going to destroy the college. And we've got a main character of like Kate and Billy's daughter, sort of leaving Kate and Billy back in Kingston Falls, only to turn up at the end of the movie, because you're going to be at the beginning of the movie, bye, and then you see them at the end of the movie, maybe coming to save the day. And then at the end, they'll probably pass it on to thingy. But I can imagine sort of like the daughter trying to fight off the Gremlins with the help of her college roommates that are all going to be like ticking the boxes. Like, so you're going to have like the LGBT representative, you're going to have different ethnic minorities represented as well. They usually do that because they want to be inclusive. So you can imagine that's what they're going to do. And then they'll have randomly, you'll get like these cameo appearances, like Corey Feldman will turn up as a teacher in the school or something. You know what I mean? Like, probably a music teacher in the school doing his band stuff. But you can imagine Corey Feldman turns up as a teacher in the school. Judge Reinhold, so like was former bank manager in the original. He's now like is it a dean they call it in America? The dean of the college or something, you know what I mean? That's where I can see them going with it, and it being like, oh no, and it just rubbish. Then I found this out. So I saw this, it pops up, because I'm also looking at Gremlin stuff, like, you know, algorithms, like you read one article, next thing you know, 20 of them come up. This is an interview with the girl that was in Ghostbusters, McKenna Grace, her name is. She was in Ghostbusters, where she said, like, someone's interviewing her, and she says, we're doing a Gremlins movie. And the bloke's like, oh, I thought he was doing a Ghostbusters movie. She goes, oh, it is a Ghostbusters movie, but it's also a Gremlins movie. And this is in the interview. She says this. I'm going to put some pictures up here of what she kind of said, because I don't know how to put the video there, and also I don't want to get in trouble for that. So I'll try and find a link to it and put that in the description of her actually saying this in this interview. So she says that they are doing a Ghostbusters movie, but it's linked to Gremlins. It's actually a Gremlins movie, but with the Ghostbusters people. That her character of Phoebe Spengler, which she's in the new Ghostbusters, like Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire, I think it was called, those films, she's now going to be in the Gremlins film as Phoebe Spengler. And I was like, oh God, no. Because I love the Ghostbusters movies, 1 and 2, mostly fan. I Didn't mind the new ones. They were okay. But the idea of melding the world of Gremlins and the paranormal of Ghostbusters, I don't like that. So I don't want to see Slimer and Gizmo sitting eating a sandwich together. Do you know what I mean? That's where my brain went then. So then it was like, it's getting worse. Go, if that is true and they're going to try and cross them over, if it's just a character, it won't be so bad. But if they're going to bring the paranormal stuff with them as well into the world of Gremlins, why would you do that? Why would you cross those films over? Because Gremlins, while you could argue it's a cryptid, like a mythological creature if you want, there's nothing paranormal about it. There's nothing like ghostly or worldly or paranormal world about it. It's literally just a creature that you could cross over Harry and the Hendersons with Mogwais. That'll be fine. Two cryptids, it makes sense. But trying to bring the paranormal into the Gremlins universe is so silly. Now I know Gremlins 2 was a meta film. It's very self-aware that it was a movie. It was very much like different from the original, and they really took a chance with it. And it's not a bad film, but to me, I've never enjoyed it as much as the first one. I like the vibe of the first one. So if they're gonna remake Gremlins, then I want it to feel that way. I want it to be about small town invasion. What we're gonna do, kind of like, if you ever seen the Critters movies, if you watch Critters 1 and then Critters 2, I love those. Those are very much inspired by Gremlins, to be honest, but I loved those movies. And I'm like, that's kind of what I wanted from Gremlins 2. When they announced Gremlins 2, I remember being young at the time. I feel like, was I in my early teens? I can't remember when it came out. It was in the 90s. But I remember thinking, I really want it to be like the first one. And when it came out, I was like, oh, it's all right, it's fun, but it's not the first one. Doesn't have that same feeling. Obviously, they went from, like, the first one's very much a horror movie to me. It's very much a horror movie. It's very like a gateway horror for kids, really, because we all watched it as kids, not knowing. It's actually a 15-rated movie in England. So it's like, it is a scary horror movie. And then we got the second one. There was horror elements, but it was very much comedical. The comedy side took over more, and the sort of, like, they call it meta now, don't they? That meta side took over, where it was very self-aware. Well, we're in a movie, it's all get silly and do silly things. Hulk Hogan turns up, you know, random stuff like that. Actually, there's two versions of that film, by the way. Gremlins 2, there's two different versions. You've got the version where it's like the video gets destroyed and goes funny, or the version where the big cinema screen gets destroyed. The cinema screen gets destroyed one is the one with Hulk Hogan, and the videotape getting destroyed, TV game all staticky, that's got John Wayne as the sort of finishing bit. Two different versions, both great, because I remember I've only ever seen the video version, so quite excited for that. But anyway, so this is what I think. So I think Gremlins, the new version, the Gremlins 3 that we're going to get, is going to be, as much as I want it to be good, I really do, I think it's going to be silly. I've got a weird feeling it's going to be a silly one. And it's just going to be a bit of just like a nostalgic kick. I said they're going to throw in random cameos, random lines from the original movie. They'll do little throwback things, like you might see like the Futterman's like combine harvester in the background, the thing that went through, or the tractor thing that went through their house. You might see like various different snowplow, that went through the house. You might see like Billy's old car. Oh, that's the old car. Mrs. Deagle's broken snowman, you might spot that in the background. It'll be one of those, you know what I mean? It'll be that. There'll probably be a tombstone or a statue monument to Mrs. Deagle in the town. She was big in that town, wasn't she, before she got chucked out of a window by a gremlin. In still one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And my nan loved that scene. Whenever she mentioned, like when she said, I'm getting old now, I'm going to need one of those chairs, and instantly she'd go, just like in Gremlins, and everyone else, she just loved it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a new Gremlins movie, but I'm terrified about seeing a new Gremlins movie. That's my take on it. I said, I'm worried about the McKenna Grace thing now. It's giving me stress. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'll be dreaming about McKenna Grace, like, ruining stuff. So I'm just like, oh, 'cause she's in the new Scream movie as well, isn't she? She's a big horror girl, isn't she? She's been in a lot of horror-based things. Because I know she was in, was it The Conjuring? No, it was Annabelle Comes Home, which kind of like Conjuring sequel, and she played their daughter in that. So she's in a lot of horror-based stuff. Now Scream, now this, so here we go. But yeah, let me know what you think. Are you like me? Are you terrified of a new Gremlins movie coming out and just being awful? I mean, you just don't have to watch it again after you watch it once, so we just get rid of it. Like, never gonna watch that again. But like, I don't know. I've wanted this. I wanted a decent Gremlins thing. And I heard about the prequel TV show. I've not watched that yet, the cartoon prequel. Some people told me it's actually not that bad, but I was like, oh, I've always wanted another Gremlins movie like the first one. And now it's like, we're getting another Gremlins movie. And now I'm like, oh no, it's not going to be like the first one. I think it's going to be more leaning towards the humour of the second one, but then modernise it. So you've got, as I said, like as a retro flashback film. I don't know. Again, let me know what you think. Are you happy? Are you sad? Do you think it's going to be good, bad, or ugly? Yeah, let me know. Also, we've got the Mummy one coming out as well. That was announced on the same day they're going to do a Brendan Fraser Mummy movie, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be great! It's going to be great!" And my brain instantly went to negativity and was like, "Actually, there is a good chance they could balls it up." Like Brendan Fraser's only in for like 10 minutes. He's not action star Brendan Fraser anymore, so they're going to have to do it very differently. And it's again, it's going to be the next generation. It'll be trying to push for another franchise. So we're going to have Brendan Fraser passing that torch on to probably, I'm trying to think, Joe. I bet it's Joe's. It's going to be bloody Chris Pratt or something like that, passing it on to someone like Chris Pratt. So that's where I think it's going to go. So I'm a bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Because we could be surprised. We could be very surprised. Because sometimes, like, Top Gun Maverick surprised everyone. I still think that's a rip-off of Star Wars, but I've done a video on that ages ago. But I do think they literally just carbon copied the end of Star Wars and threw in Tom Cruise. But anyway, I've already said this already, but let me know what you think. And if you like this video, please subscribe and share it with your friends who like Gremlins. Please be good. Bye.